Welcome to Velocity Lead Prep. You've signed up for the lead class, an exciting step forward in your climbing journey. Lead climbing is advanced and introduces new challenges and risks, but it's also one of the most rewarding and empowering skills you can learn. This 10-minute video is designed to give you an overview of the technical, mental, and safety aspects of lead climbing. It is not a substitute for instruction, but provides a small foundation to help you succeed in the class. The mindset shift in lead climbing is essential. When you lead climb, your focus expands beyond movement. You're now managing both the wall and the rope, a whole new system. As a climber and a belayer, focus, communication, and awareness are everything. We'll start by reviewing some key differences between top rope climbing and lead climbing. First, we use a different type of rope in lead climbing, called a dynamic rope, which stretches to absorb some of the force. This takes some of the physical shock out of the fall, creating less force on the climber, the belayer, and the gear. The stretch of dynamic rope also contributes to the second big difference between lead climbing and top rope, fall distance. Lead falls are long and they are dynamic. You fall past the last quick draw that you clipped. The distance of your fall is roughly twice the length of rope between you and the last clip, which includes slack and the rope stretch. In lead climbing, we also have to think about the physical impact of falls with the wall and potentially with the ground. The angle of the fall and a non-dynamic catch from the belayer can result in forcefully swinging back into the wall. If the climber is too close to the ground or there's too much slack out, they can hit the ground. Both the climber and the belayer are responsible for mitigating these risks. A smooth, dynamic belay is integral to lead climbing. Like any other skill, it takes focus and practice. There are multiple techniques and devices for lead belaying. At Velocity, we teach on the Gree-Gree, but you can also use any approved assisted braking device that you are comfortable with. You are responsible for the function of that belay device. As with all ABDs, the braking is assisted, not automatic. You must maintain control of the brake strand at all times, which is what triggers the device with the assisted braking. Prior to the class, we recommend reviewing the Petzl video on how to use a Gree-Gree, which you can find linked here. Slack management and position are important pieces in lead belay technique. The belayer's stance and technique directly impact what happens during a fall. Giving rope to your climber is called feeding or paying out slack. You want to feed quickly and smoothly so the climber can clip without panic or extra effort. We teach the thumb-assisted feed technique. This involves putting your thumb on the Gree-Gree to make it easier to feed the rope more quickly. It's important to keep your brake hand on the rope at all times while feeding, and to not fully cup the Gree-Gree body. A full hand grasp defeats the camming mechanism, which is very dangerous for the climber. At the beginning of the climb, the belayer should keep the rope running straight through the first few clips. There should only be enough rope for the climber to move and clip with no additional slack. At Velocity, this position should be used for the first 4 clips. Above the 4th clip, maintain a soft J of slack on the rope. This allows the climber to move freely and have plenty of rope to easily clip, and it helps soften a fall. The belayer also needs to stay an appropriate distance from the wall. This helps manage the amount of rope that's out and helps prevent the belayer from being pulled into the wall when catching a fall. With too much slack out, the climber can take a long fall with potential to hit the ground. With too little slack, the catch is unnecessarily hard and places a strain on the climber, belayer, and gear. When a fall occurs, the belayer must be ready to react appropriately with a dynamic belay. In most cases, the belayer will stay relaxed and go with the catch. This dynamic movement softens the force on the climber. The belayer often gets pulled off the ground while making a catch. This is normal, especially if the climber is heavier than the belayer, and should be learned as part of providing a dynamic belay. If there's a significant weight difference, you can also opt to use an ohm or omega, which adds resistance to the rope, effectively making the climber lighter. Whether you're using an ohm or not, lighter belayers should be ready to be pulled off the ground when catching a fall. This also contributes to the distance of the fall. Heavier belayers need to be aware of weight differences as well and ready to give a soft, dynamic catch. Correct clipping is essential for safety. We'll show you a couple different options in class, but the principles are universal. The rope must travel from your harness through the front of the draw and in towards the wall. The ideal time to clip is when the quick draw is positioned between your eyes and your harness. This is the optimal window where you have enough rope out to clip, but you haven't climbed so far that the fall becomes excessive. High clipping is clipping when the draw is above your head. You might need to do this on sketchy moves or when you're low to the ground. It is an acceptable tactic, especially when you're in a comfortable position to clip. Just be aware of the potential risks. Do not let the last quick draw fall below your knees. Clipping low is very awkward and can lead to longer, more dangerous falls. Conditions on the wall can vary, so it's important to be able to clip and unclip proficiently with either hand and with the gate of the draw facing in either direction. We will practice both in class, and it's an easy skill to practice at home. There are 3 primary clipping and climbing errors that compromise your safety and must be fixed immediately. The first critical error is back clipping. This is when the rope travels from your harness to the wall and then through the quick draw. This is backwards and it's dangerous because the rope can unclip itself during a fall. To fix it, unclip the draw and clip it properly. Remember, you'll need to be able to do this correctly using only one hand. We'll go over this in class, and it's an easy thing to practice at home. The second critical error is Z-clipping. This happens when you accidentally grab the rope from below the previous quick draw instead of from your harness loop, creating a tight Z shape between the 2 draws. This is bad because you cannot pull up rope to clip the next draw. The rope locks up, and when you fall, you exert a large and potentially dangerous force on the lower quick draw. To fix it, down climb to the lower clip and unclip the Z. The third critical error is a leg in the system. This is when your leg ends up between the rope and the wall and can get caught on the rope when you fall. This is an immediate high-risk hazard. It's dangerous because the rope can catch your leg in a fall, flipping you upside down where you can hit your head or sustain other injuries. You must be aware of your foot placement at all times to keep the rope clean. For many new leaders, falling feels like the scariest part of learning, but don't worry. We'll teach you how to fall correctly to mitigate risk. As a climber, it's important to consistently be aware of your surroundings. This allows you to make more informed split-second decisions when something like a fall occurs. We want you to think about the distance and angle of the fall and note any obstructions that might be in the path of a potential fall. When possible, it's best to fall straight down and avoid pushing off the wall. We'll practice falling in class and make sure you feel comfortable and confident to get on the wall. Lead climbing has different variables and requirements than top rope climbing. This presents a new set of challenges and risks. It also presents more opportunities to learn and enjoy a totally new aspect of climbing. This video is only an overview and does not touch on everything that we'll go over in class, and the class is just the beginning of the next chapter of your climbing. Our goal is to get you on the wall with the knowledge to mitigate risk and the confidence to keep practicing and learning. It's a process, and we'll be with you every step of the way. On the day of your class, bring climbing shoes, regular shoes, a harness, and a belay device. If you bring your own device, it must be an assisted braking device. If you don't have a suitable belay device, we'll loan you one. We recommend closed-toed shoes, but you can wear whatever is most comfortable for you for belay. Please arrive a few minutes early so we can start the class on time. If you have any concerns about your ability level, readiness for the class, or any other questions, just let us know. We'll see you in class.